Man, oh man.
Or is it on? Are we
I'm
on?
pretty sure. I think we're on, Dylan. I think we're on.
Oh, well, it's been a while. We gave the boys a Christmas break. Jacob's still wandering around in Europe, wherever he's at. So it's still just us two.
Could you
But
imagine? Could you imagine just seeing JP just walking around Europe? Just
that
oh my
man has
god.
no clue what anybody's
Yeah.
saying over
Just-
there. I know they speak English in a lot of those countries, but I'm sure he's getting along just fine. We miss you, Jacob. We hope you're having fun. But this is our last episode of 2024. The next time everyone hears from us, it'll be 2025. Tyler,
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
New Year's Eve is Tuesday.
I just assumed we weren't gonna have one on New Year's Eve.
I mean that's up for discussion if you want to. I
I
mean,
don't.
I don't.
I mean,
We might not be in the right mindset to.
well, I just feel like we're probably gonna be busy. Normally, there's
Yeah,
plans that day, so
unless we did like a early morning, and I don't think you know, I
we'll
don't think
see.
that's
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll
We'll
talk
see. We'll
about it.
see. Yeah, we'll throw out the option. But Dylan,
Yeah.
are you not gonna intro us?
Oh, I thought I already did. I thought that's what we've been doing. We're welcome
No.
back to the TJD Sports Podcast. I already kind of went through what's been going on, and that this
Let,
was, you know,
Dylan,
sorry.
do you have a good Christmas?
Oh yeah, had a great Christmas. Got to sit back and watch Isla's reaction to all her toys and
How
all
was
that
it?
fun stuff.
How'd
It was
she?
fun.
How was it?
It was good. We still had to open the presents for her, but she definitely played with them.
Did she play with
Didn't
the
have
one
to
as
do.
soon as it got brought out of the package,
Yeah, and then she forgot about it when the next
and then
one
went to
came
the
out.
next one?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but now the past few days have been really fun too, seeing her play with all those. I didn't have to do too much building.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
only a few things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, how was your Christmas?
Town. Got to hang out with them. Haven't seen them in a while, so it was good to see them. But yeah, all around it was really good. It was got to enjoy some good downtime.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Well,
A little couch rotting.
that's always good. That's good for the soul,
Oh,
you know.
always good for the soul.
But well,
Well,
the
the
last
last
time
time
we
we
had an episode, we were watching. There was a live playoff game going on, Notre Dame and Indiana, and just much like that game, there wasn't really a whole lot of competitiveness in the first round of the college football playoffs. In any of the games, there was no upsets, and it was pretty much just domination in every single game. The higher seed, just it's not a good year or a good way to start the 12-team playoff. When
and
all the lower seed teams got smacked. It's kind of if you're excited about the 12-team playoffs, this is not what you want to see because this could make a case if this happens every single year, they could shorten it again.
yeah,
Um, if there's never a competitive game, so we'll
it
have to
just
see how the second round goes.
they're definitely going to have to rework on how who they pick and who gets in and who doesn't. But
Yeah, I mean it was a trial year, but it does show it's valuable to get a home field advantage in the playoffs because the home team is undefeated right now. So,
I just got a notification where we'll go ahead and talk about this. Boo Carter, how he
oh,
had said that he wanted to.
okay. So we're just okay. Well, I figured we could talk about that when we're talking about Tennessee. I already that was yeah. I saw. I know exactly what you're about to say, but
That he's
okay.
staying.
Well, if you want to go ahead and
Okay. Okay.
talk about it now.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it because I feel like we'll break down the Tennessee game a little bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Well,
what.
yeah. Yeah. We'll
I
talk about it. We'll talk about it in a minute. That's on me.
yeah. No, it's
Got my candy cane.
okay. um. Yeah. Well, I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Tyler.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's important. Shows how important it is to secure that the home field advantage. Obviously, all the teams that just played at home. Well, now everything's on a neutral site, so it doesn't matter. But
All the
those
home
teams are
teams
going to have
won.
to go to the top four seeds, and I'm interested to hear about your thoughts on the second round matchups. Now that we saw how some of these teams played in round one. Um, but yeah, let's just Notre Dame, Indiana. I mean, Indiana played in two big games this year, and they looked like they did not belong in either of those games. The scoreboard, don't let the scoreboard fool you, of 27-17. The game was not that close. Indiana scored 14 of those points in the fourth quarter
In
when they were
garbage.
already down big, yeah, in garbage time. That was not a close football game. 10 points does not tell the story of how that game went. Notre Dame was in control of that game. Both teams looked like they struggled at the beginning. They were, nerves of college football playoffs maybe got to both teams, but in the end, Notre Dame, um, I mean, they just took care of business. Indiana, they had a great season, and I can't take that away from Indiana. I mean, they made it to the college football playoffs. That's great. They have some they have some work to do to continue to build that program to compete a little bit better in those big time matchups. But they've shown they're good enough to beat the teams they're supposed to beat. They're just not on that level of the top tier Big Ten teams yet. So we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes.
We'll
Um,
definitely have to see how they bounce back next year.
yeah. And then that game kind of that was the closest game we got, unfortunately, in the
Oh,
weekend.
what was the final score of the Texas game? I thought was pretty close, was it not? I thought it was like 38-24 or
I
something
mean,
like
it was another one that it was close. Texas pulled away at the end, and I mean, it was just Clemson was fighting to keep it close, but Texas pulled away. That I guess the Texas game technically was scoreboard wise, final score wise, the Notre Dame game was the closest game we got. But the Texas Clemson game definitely felt like a more evenly matched game.
that.
Um, but the next game, Penn State against SMU. Um, this is just a story of, they won 38-10. Penn State did, but this game, Penn State's defense stole the show in that game. What, two pick sixes, um, three picks total. I feel like there was some fumbles mixed in there too. There was one, I believe, and SMU. I was talking to you about it. I said that this game was going to be close because of SMU's offense, and was I wrong, Tyler?
Yeah, you
I
were.
mean, they didn't do anything.
You missed that one, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for sure. You know, if you would have told me before the game that Penn State's QB who's a good quarterback, was only going to throw for 127 yards, I wouldn't have thought that that would have been the final score. But they had three rushing touchdowns in the game, and like I said, two pick sixes. When your defense scores twice for you, you're probably gonna have a good outcome on
Yeah.
the on the scoreboard for you, and they did.
It
Um,
and SMU had a good year, right? Once again, it's just gonna the committees. I feel like the committee's gonna look at it and they're just gonna say, now next year, I feel like it's going to be more strict on who gets in, and I feel like those just Indiana and the SMU game, just those teams alone, they're gonna now base it off of strength of schedule.
yeah,
And
I mean,
like, yeah, Indiana played good, right? They had a great season. Nothing, no knock against them. But look at they were playing the teams that they were supposed to be. Same thing with SMU. And so it was in Penn State and Notre Dame just showed that.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to. That's still, it's kind of tough to judge it. I mean, yeah, I think Alabama and them are better, but I feel like you can't really punish. It's hard to gauge that because you can't punish a team for handling their business and doing what they're supposed to do. Outside of those big matchups, like I mean, Indiana and SMU. I mean, they SMU won 11 games and Indiana won 10. Um, and SMU had a close game against Clemson. Like that wasn't they
Yeah,
didn't get blown out. And so SMU I understand a little bit more. Yeah,
yeah,
they
I
still got
agree.
smacked, but Indiana's since SMU definitely had a better resume than Indiana in my opinion. Um, but yeah, this is just where it's tough because and we were saying this is the weak side of the bracket, but like I feel like you could have moved teams around anywhere, and some of these teams still would have gotten beaten away. And then it's not fair to Penn State, for oh well they blew out SMU, so maybe they should have played against like Tennessee or played against like
Ohio State.
Ohio State or somebody like that because they shouldn't get punished. It's not Penn State's fault that they got scheduled again, or it's not Notre Dame's fault that they got that's the cards they were dealt, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They took care of business, and they're moving on. And yeah, so Penn State, they this is the game though. I feel like they need to get on the board. Obviously, in the playoffs, you just need to win. But they just showed they're capable of stepping on someone's throat in a big game. They didn't let it stay close. They didn't keep SMU. Every time they got a big defensive play, they followed it up with a touchdown. Every time they got back on defense, they followed it up with good defensive plays. They did not let up. They finished the full game. They got to put some backups in, which is crazy. I mean, three quarterbacks were able to play in a college football playoff game.
Yeah,
But I don't blame James Franklin. Hey, I mean, if you're up big and you don't want your quarterback taking any chances of getting hurt going into the next round. But yeah, that, I don't know. I wasn't able to listen because I was actually Isla was napping during that game, so I couldn't have the volume up. But I know you said that Penn State was rocking in that
they
game.
were. It like they you could tell that because so the commentators for that game they had even acknowledged it as well that every time SMU's quarterback went like this to listen, they instantly got louder
Yeah,
so that he couldn't hear. So they had to burn timeouts. They had to look at the sideline, wasted time, delayed games, all that stuff, and it was definitely a college football playoff atmosphere if I've ever seen one. It
yeah.
was fun. It was fun
I
watching their just the atmosphere part of it.
what you're saying, this is random on topic, but a little. It's not about the game itself. It's just about the format. One thing that I do love about this is I love that the first round is at like actual college campuses and not a neutral site. Because
Yeah,
one, like that gives fans like no, obviously you want the first round bye, but do you know how much that means to those fans that they were able to
yeah.
go to a college football playoff game? Like
Well,
it just makes it more interesting in that sense. And
I don't know
yeah,
if you watched on College Game Day. They were talking about it, and the first game was Friday night, and College Game Day was at Notre Dame for the Indiana game, and they Notre Dame had taken their finals and then they left their campus open for all the students who wanted to stay who were going to that game.
yeah,
So it's like, it just one big party for an entire week straight.
yeah.
So
No, I love it, and I'm
yeah,
sure the fans loved it. The school, I mean, everyone gets involved in those things.
yeah,
So it's just, I love that aspect of it. And if you look at it, you can kind of look at it like, I know obviously it is a 12-team playoff, but really you can look at it as an 8-team playoff, and that first round is like a play-in game
yeah.
because then you go to the neutral sites. So like, it's just, I don't know. I love it. I love the formats. Even though we didn't get any competitive games, hey, if you are seated in that range, you get to play a home game and take care of business, and then get a little extended week of preparation for your next game. But
Yeah.
next one, Texas and Clemson. Another one I got wrong. Um, I said that Clemson was gonna upset Texas. I thought Clemson was a team that no one wanted to run into, and I think that Clemson's Cade Klubnik, I think he still played amazing in that game. He showed flashes of like he's a stud. Um, he has been shaky at times, but in this game, I don't think anyone. I mean, he threw one pick, but like that happens. Quarterbacks throw interceptions. I mean, you know. Um,
You know too. Yeah.
so it happens, even the good ones. And Cade Klubnik, that was an incredible game. It's just part of the 12 seed, or a conference champion isn't going to be in the top four and have a bye. So like, you know, a good Clemson team had to play against a good Texas team, and that's just part of it. Um, and that was the most enjoyable game in my opinion to watch in the first round. Um, but Texas again, their running back had a day in that game. I didn't realize how fast he was. He was just blowing by people left and right. That was fun to watch. Jaden Blue
Yep.
is his name. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I'm excited to see more of him. I did not know he was that fast. Um, but yeah, he's quick to say the least. But Texas handle business. Wait, who did they play? They play Arizona State. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Texas, I'm just gonna say they have a good shot at moving. Uh, yeah, let's get to the next one. Let's finish the first round. Tennessee and Ohio State.
buddy.
Um,
It, that game, it was just
let's just say um, we got to remember Ohio State was ranked. Um, did they ever make it to one this year? I know they were up to number two when they
I think
lost
they
to
worked too.
Oregon. They were number two because at that time Texas was number one, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. They've been capable of this. They've been inconsistent, specifically in the Michigan game. Um, for whatever reason, the football gods decided to let them show the full wrath that Ohio State is capable of against Tennessee. Um, there was no stopping that Ohio State team in that first quarter. I don't. They would have beaten a lot of teams with how they played in that game. It would have been hard for anybody to beat them. If I will say, right now, if they play that way this week against Oregon, I'm taking Ohio State. If they play that exact same way,
Right.
for 4 quarters, play that full way. They slowed down in the second quarter, but then they picked the steam right back up in the third. Ohio State played really good, and they embarrassed Tennessee, and there's nothing to say about that. But Will Howard was throwing dots.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith was just absolute. He was a beast out there, just catching anything his coming his way. Um, their D line was playing really good, just pressuring Nico all game, making him leave the pocket. They cracked his helmet twice.
Twice. That is insane.
Um, Nico was fighting for his life out there. I will say one positive thing about Tennessee is I loved Nico's fight in that
Right.
game. Um, and that's a game that builds some experience. I think Nico grew up in that game, and it's only gonna make him better. There wasn't a lot of positives in
No.
that game. We can just be honest. Not a
Well,
whole lot went good.
it sucks when Dylan Sampson goes out with a hamstring in what, the first quarter,
Yeah,
and then he comes in after halftime and is kind of like nursing it a little bit. Like
yeah,
as soon as he went out, I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is not good. This is not good for the
yeah.
boys.
Oh, I knew when we were down 21-0, it was gonna be really hard. But then they brought it back, 21-10 at the half. We got the ball first out of the half. I was thinking, even if you get a field goal, that's a one possession game.
Right?
Um, they didn't get the field
No, they
goal,
did not.
and it did not become a one possession game. Ohio State quickly took back over. Um,
Um,
I will say Tennessee fans did their part. They showed up. They didn't. It wasn't as wild as what it was made out to be. I don't think they took over Ohio State Stadium, there was maybe like, 25, 30% of the stadium was full, but it wasn't like
Oh,
half and half like some
yeah,
people were trying to make it seem.
if you looked, a lot of the Tennessee fans were in the bottom bowl.
Yeah,
But then you have the shoe part, and then you have the part that goes up like that, right? All of that was red.
yeah,
There was not a spot of orange.
yeah. I mean, if you're a Tennessee fan and you're gonna make that kind of a trip, you might as well get some nice tickets while you're at it.
Oh yeah,
So I
hundred
don't
percent.
blame them. If you're gonna make the trip, you might as well go all in. You don't want to sit in nosebleeds going
Yeah,
all the way there. Um,
especially in that cold weather. Buddy.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You better best believe I'm gonna pay that extra extra money to go and sit
Yeah.
closer.
But Tennessee ultimately they just got whooped. There's not much to say
I
about
think I, I
it.
think I think it was also the preparation for it too. Ohio State was more prepared for that game than Tennessee was, and I feel that because didn't Squirrel White go out and Dante Thornton went out and Dylan Sampson went out, so
Yeah.
three of your major weapons right there, and then I mean, obviously, it just didn't fall their way, right? I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, as
Well,
Tennessee fans, we were quite pissed off at the game, and
and I just want to say too, yeah, you're talking about, that those guys going down really hurt us. Really had to dig deep in the bench in
mhm,
that game at wide receiver. Let me just tell you, I don't know how much you've been paying attention. I know this is where we'll talk about it in a second. I know you mentioned Boo Carter. We'll go more in depth with that in a minute. But there's been quite a few wide receivers from Tennessee that entered the portal. Obviously, Brew McCoy, Dante Thornton, those guys are seniors, so
yeah,
they're,
they left.
they're
They're
gone
done.
anyways. Brazel, I think, was a senior. Maybe he's back. No, he's back. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure Brazel's back,
yeah,
but Thornton and Brew were seniors. Squirrel White today entered the transfer portal. Um, there's guys that were freshmen like Nathan Leacock. Oh gosh, I'm gonna look
what
bad
was
right
his name?
here.
What was, there was another one. Um,
Um, oh gosh, I was on a roll and then I lost the train of thought of their names. Chaz Nimrod entered the
Nimrod,
transfer
that's what his
portal.
name is. Yeah, Nimrod.
That's what I was trying to think of. I was like, what? There was another one. I can't think of his name. He was another young receiver. Um, can't think of his name. I don't know. But anyways, there's a lot. The point is, multiple receivers. We may have a whole new receiving room. Guys like former five-star wide receiver Mike Matthews got to play a little bit this year. He's probably gonna be wide receiver one next year.
Yeah,
You're a five-star guy. You expect to come in. He caught a touchdown pass against Vandy. His first collegiate touchdown was against Vandy. He's gonna have a lot more next year because looking around, I mean, I just named off five guys that are gone. Um, Obviously, you got more incoming freshmen. There's still transfer portal guys that they could bring in, target.
did you see?
But
While we're talking about the wideout position, we're moving to tight end for a second. Did you see that Kisselman might there might be a
might
chance
come
that
back.
might come back?
Yeah, well, Holden Stays, the other tight end, he entered the transfer portal as well. Yeah, let's just keep going with the transfer portal because there's a lot. Gaston Moore, our backup, who Coach Heupel called gas pipe, because he just joined. He came into that Bama game first play off the bench, just launched it downfield and threw a pick. I mean, I loved it. I loved the confidence. You don't want that he showed. Like normally when your backup comes in, you're like, oh, here we go. It's over. We're gonna start playing more conservative, run the ball a bunch. No, first play he's in the game, he launches it downfield and throws a pick, and I loved it on the run. But he's gone. He's probably gonna go to a smaller school, and probably be a stud at a small school. He probably won't. He's not gonna transfer somewhere else in the SEC or like a power
Yeah.
conference. But I saw something, and it's actually a good. He would probably be a good fit. Someone said he's probably gonna transfer to someone like Coastal Carolina and throw like 40 touchdowns there, because backup in the SEC would probably be really good as a starter in one of those Group of Five schools. So that it'll be interesting to keep our eyes on him. I like him, but I can't you can't blame him for leaving because Nico will be a sophomore next year. They just signed a five-star quarterback out of Brentwood in this class, George McIntyre,
Hmm.
and they have a four-star that was a freshman this year, Jake Merklinger, who's also on the team. Um, you know, you can't
Yeah,
blame Gaston Moore for wanting to transfer. Looking at it, he's like, okay, I'm
I'm
probably
not.
gonna be the backup to all three of these guys
Yeah.
if anyone goes down. So like, if he wants to play, which everyone does, you can't be mad at that guy, at the kid for wanting to go and play, um, because he can play somewhere else. It's just not, unfortunately, at Tennessee. There's just too much talent coming into that room. And then one more transfer that I know of, Jordan Matthews. He was a freshman corner, got some playing time. Actually, two more transfers, but Jordan Matthews, um, he's same situation. He's behind two really good corners that stepped up and showed that they're dominant and really good at their position this year. He transferred to Vanderbilt, so he's staying in the state of Tennessee, but is going to play for Vanderbilt. So that's a big addition for Vandy. He was a former top 300 player and linebacker. Oh, what's his name? There's a linebacker that transferred too that um, he just transferred to Mississippi State and he won. He was a freshman All-American, um, or freshman all first at freshman SEC team, something like that. I can't think of his name though. He just transferred anyways, and Dylan Sampson today declared for the NFL draft. Yep,
Why?
yep. So his
Why?
Peyton Lewis season. Oh, that's another one. Cam Seldon at the running back position entered the transfer portal. So Peyton Lewis is running back one, it seems. And again, I know they signed some guys. There's some other guys on the roster, but um, we're gonna have a new team out there. Basically, it's gonna be
Yeah.
Nico and a bunch of new guys around him.
Yeah.
But that's exciting. We'll have to see.
It'll be
I like
fun to
watching.
watch for sure, especially like you said.
Now,
It was.
yeah. Do you want to talk about Boo? What
Yeah,
you're patiently
Boo
waiting
had
for?
he had said that if he doesn't play more on the offense, and you said defense, correct?
Well, he
He wanted to
started. He was
play.
a safety for us, but he wanted to
He
play
wanted to
on
play
offense.
more on offense,
Yeah.
and if he wasn't, he was going to leave. Well, I got a notification about 25 minutes ago, and he is staying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He.
he is staying.
I saw that. It was reported on by one of the big recruiting account, like one of the main college recruiting um, analysts and everything, that Boo said like he didn't want to leave Tennessee. Like it wasn't about more get as he wasn't asking for more money. He just wanted to play more football, which
Yeah,
you got to respect. And he was telling them like, "Hey, this is something I want." And uh, before I continue, he won Mr. Football twice in high school, mainly because of what he did on offense.
yeah,
So he's a really good weapon on offense, and he went to the coaches and said, "Hey, like I think I could be useful, like more impactful to this football team if you play me both sides of the ball." And that's something I want to do. And I'm sure the coaches ate that up and were probably like, "Oh, hey, whatever, if that's what you want to do, we can work you in some packages and do that." I don't know. It's going to be hard to tell. I don't know if it's going to be exactly like the same workload that like Travis Hunter just had. Maybe it's just more of like special offensive packages that he's out there. I don't know if it's a full-time thing, but yeah, I mean, he said though like he did not want to leave because he wanted more money. He just wanted to. He felt like he could um, probably raise his draft stock more, just showing what he can do on both sides. I'm not saying he's gonna look exactly like what Travis Hunter did. That'd be nice, obviously. You can hope for that. But he's a weapon. He was the team's best punt returner. He was a starter as a freshman on defense, and now he wants to play offense. I feel like, if he's one of your best athletes on the team and he wants to do that, a lot of guys, I saw Jamar Chase actually was asked about Travis Hunter, and Jamar Chase said, I would never do what Travis Hunter did. That's too much running for me. I don't want to play
Yeah,
defense. He said that the coach at LSU at the time actually asked him if he wanted to play DB, and he said no. So, it's rare probably that you find guys that want to play on both sides and can do it at a high level. So I'm sure the
yeah.
coaches had no issue. Obviously, they're allowing it and told him that he would, so he's back, and that's awesome to see. But do you have anything else Tennessee related before we move on to the next round of the college football playoffs?
All I'm gonna say is this was yes, as Tennessee fans, we were very upset about how the game turned out. But you have to look in the grand scheme of things too. We got there on the shoulders of a high offensive running game and Nico. And to see how Nico performed without the running game and without his receivers, and he was still out there competing at a very high level, for me that makes me very optimistic about how next year and the year after, and maybe another year after that, are going to look for him.
Yeah.
And he's only going to get better. He's going to get more muscle. He's going to get faster. He's going to get stronger. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this. Like, even though we lost, it sucks, but you got to look ahead now. And
Yeah.
our future for Tennessee looks pretty good.
And Tennessee has a pretty favorable schedule next year.
They have a
Again,
lot of home
so
games.
yeah, and yeah, they get Georgia at home. They have to travel to Bama. Um, they have to travel to Florida. Um, but
Other than that, there's not really many high pressure atmospheres that they have to go to.
yeah, so it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see what they have in store next year. And again, with all this transfer stuff going on, could be a completely different team out there. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But now it's time to talk more about the playoffs and what's coming up. There's only one game. There's no game Saturday this weekend. They start back up on New Year's Eve, and there's one game on New Year's Eve, and that is Penn State and Boise State. Um, Penn State is favored by 11. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we're gonna see something very similar in this game as what we saw in the SMU game. Um, Boise State is there strictly because of what Ashton Genty has done. Um, Ashton Genty did good against Oregon. I understand that. But I think this Penn State defense is better than Oregon's defense. I'm not saying I think Oregon's a better team, but I think Penn State has a better defense. I think Penn State will be more prepared and equipped to handle an Ashton Denty. Obviously, if he's one of the best players in the country, it's gonna be hard to stop him no matter who you are.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a good game. You just can't let that one player beat you. You're gonna have to force Boise State to beat you in the air, um, beat you other ways than just, hey, here you go, here's the ball, Ashton Genty, take us to the championship. The rest of the team's gonna have to figure some stuff out against this Penn State defense, but I think Penn State, I don't think it's gonna be close by any means. The only way that it is close, in my opinion, is if Boise State controls the clock and the tempo, takes a lot of time off the clock, and just shortens the game. If they get up early, just keep burning the clock with the run game. I think that's their best shot in this one, but I think Penn State wins by a lot.
Uh, you know, I can see it both ways. I could
Yeah.
see Penn State winning this. I can see Boise State winning. Right. Um, I think Boise State's best thing that they got going for them right now is obviously you got Ashton Genty, who is Should have won Heisman in my opinion. We all know that. But the another thing that they have going for them is that this is a neutral site, and
Yep.
it's not going to be 99% Penn State fans, and so they're not going to have to worry about they're not going to have to worry it as much about communication issues because they'll be able to control
We're
that a
about
little bit more.
we're about to see how well Boise State travels
Yeah.
for the
Where's
final.
that at again?
That is well,
It is
it's the
at
Fiesta Bowl, but I don't know where that is.
Glendale, Arizona. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
that's closer to Boise State.
Yeah, I mean,
So you
we'll
could
just
potentially see more Boise State fans than Penn State
yeah,
fans. But
we'll
potentially,
have to see.
potentially.
Who do you think? Who's winning this?
I'm gonna go with Boise State.
Wow.
I think Penn State. I think the crowd played a lot into their win against SMU. Not saying they didn't play good. They did. They played really good. But
Yeah.
we've also seen Penn State go to the West Coast and they have played.
Thank you.
We've seen Penn State go to the West Coast and they have not played well. So it could be the time change, not being used to it, being at the West Coast. Like who knows, right? So I'm gonna go with Boise State. I have a good feeling about that.
Okay.
I
All
think
right.
Ashton Genty is going to kind of run with a chip on his shoulder of like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you that I'm the best player in the country.
I think well, I think this next game, well, again, like I said, that's the only game on Tuesday. The last three are all on New Year's Day, starting with Texas and Arizona State. This is a game, let me just go ahead and tell you right now. It is in Georgia. This is a game that I think is going to look a lot similar to some of those first round matchups, unfortunately. Arizona State has a first round bye, but I think they're gonna. We'll see. Maybe they come out there and surprise me, but I think this is gonna look like one of those first round games where Texas is probably gonna dominate and see themselves in the semifinal matchup against the winner of the next game that we're gonna talk about. But yeah, Texas. uh, Arizona State, I hope they have a good game for their sake, because like I mentioned last time, everything that I said last time, just the opposite happened. I remember telling you, I just hope that every game is competitive, because as a senior, like I just feel for those seniors, because I know what it feels like in your last game to get smacked. And don't worry, every team got embarrassed. So hopefully for State's sake, they play good football and keep it close. I don't think it will be though. I think Texas is going to run away with it, and um, it's not going to look good in my opinion.
That's all I got to say.
Okay,
That's all I got to
that's
say.
all. That's all you need to say for them. Yeah, I feel like your thoughts are kind of similar to me on that game. The next one, Tyler, got a lot more interesting to me. Um, Texas, in my opinion, Texas. Well, it's not my opinion. It's just how the bracket works. Texas will be playing the winner of this next game. I'm just, unless Arizona State shocks us,
Shock
Texas will
the
be
world.
playing. Yeah. But the rematch of Ohio State and Oregon, um, it's really hard to beat a good football team twice. Georgia did it against Texas. Can Oregon do it against Ohio State? Um, Oregon, number one team in the country for a reason. They're very good. Um, love Jordan James. They're Oregon's running back. Oakland, baby. Um, hope he wins it just for that. I hope Oregon wins it all. That's who I'm rooting for just because of that. I like Oregon. I don't have any problems with Oregon. There's no reason as Tennessee
Yeah,
fans to.
Oregon's like one of those teams, man, that like you can just look at them and like no matter what, you're like, all right, I'll go for Oregon right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's just like you don't hate them, but you don't love them.
They're not in the SEC. Should never be in the SEC. We shouldn't have to worry about that. There's no rivalry there. They got cool uniforms. It's easy to like Oregon for us. And honestly, looking at the bracket, I can't. I don't want Georgia to win. I don't want Ohio State to win at all. I mean, that could be talked into Texas, I guess, because we have friends that root for them. But I think Oregon, to me, is the easy, like, if I was to pick a team, or Boise State, if I was to pick a team to root for, it would be Oregon or Boise State. Um, but Ohio State, I mean, like I said earlier, if they play like that, it's not going to be easy for teams to beat Ohio State. They're going to have to earn it against what we just saw in
Yeah,
that game. And I know it's easy to see that's what happened in that game and just say Tennessee sucks, but Tennessee is not a bad football team. They're not one of the best, clearly, in the country, but they're not bad. Um, but the point is, Ohio State did a complete 180 from Michigan game to Tennessee game, and if they look more like the Tennessee game than they did the Michigan game, they're going to be all right and play a pretty good game against Oregon. And Oregon, they're going to make Oregon bring their A game. But I still think Oregon's going to walk away with a win in this game. But I think this game got a lot more interesting. I thought before last week that Oregon was going to. I even said if Tennessee made it to this game, Oregon was going to steamroll whoever. I think they will win, but now I'm questioning. And Ohio State is favored now in this game by 2.5. By the way, don't know if you saw that. The number one
no, I
team in
did
the
not see
country,
that.
the number one team in the country is the underdog in their first playoff matchup. Um,
You
and
know,
they're playing in the Rose Bowl.
yeah. Here's the thing. It like you said, it depends on what Ohio State team we get. Right. If we get the team that got beat by Michigan, oh buddy, Oregon's just gonna steamroll. Like there's just no question about it. Um, but if we get the Ohio State team that absolutely boat raced Tennessee, I mean we're looking at like probably because everybody had so much anticipation that the Tennessee Ohio State game was going to be probably the best game of the bracket, and we're
It was.
potentially looking at a really good game uh, for that one.
I
And
think this is the game of the second round.
yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, 100%. This is the game of the second round because you know Ohio State's going to come in with that. All right, you're not beating us again. Oregon's coming in there with we're the number one team. Now y'all are favored 2.5 points. All right, so it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be hard hitting and
yeah. I can't wait. That's gonna hopefully. I said it about some games last week, so that means this game's probably gonna be a blowout either way. I don't know. I'm gonna try not to make too many predictions because it came back to haunt me last time I did that in the last week. But yeah, that's gonna be an exciting one. And then the next one, wrapping up round two of the college football playoffs, Notre Dame and Georgia. And Carson Beck had surgery, um, so he definitely won't be playing in this game. I said it before. I'm gonna stick with it. I think this Notre Dame team is very capable of beating a a Georgia team that has a backup quarterback. And I don't know if you saw too, but Georgia's running back, his season is over too because he got hurt in practice.
who
Um, Georgia's running back.
ETN
No,
or,
not ETN.
or
The
Nate
other guy.
Frazier,
The other one. Yeah.
the freshman,
Hold up.
because it was because ETN came back because he had bruised ribs, so he missed like 2 or 3 weeks. And he came back last the conference championship game against Texas, and then Nate Frazier was the freshman who basically carried. the back half of the season for Georgia in the run game. So
I am. Let's see. It got really quiet. You can keep if you have more predictions. You can.
well, while you're looking at that, if you're Notre Dame at this point, right? You're kind of like sitting there like just anxious, you ready to go because like you think, well, our path to the college to the national championship just got a whole lot easier because now you have a hurt Carson Beck who's not playing, and you have a backup quarterback, and on top of that, who was the running back that got hurt? Did you?
It would take me a while to try and find it. I can't remember the name. I know it was a running back, but no, I know it's not ETN. Um,
Okay.
I don't want to
Yeah.
give misinformation, but someone on Georgia's team had a season-ending injury at practice this week. I'm just gonna say
Well,
that.
if once again, if you're Notre Dame, you're ready to go. Like you think that your chances just up a
Yeah.
whole lot because now you're going to be playing a depleted Georgia football team who is
Also inconsistent at times.
very, yeah, they can be very inconsistent at times, and so I'm gonna be honest with you. I was gonna if until you told me that running back was out, until I didn't know that Carson Beck was done. I knew he wasn't playing in this game, but I was gonna go with Georgia, but I'm gonna go with Notre Dame now.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm not gonna say that this is gonna be a blowout game because Georgia's defense is really good, but it, if you have a really good defense that's gonna not let Notre Dame score a lot, but the offense can't get rolling, then we're looking at a 3-0 game, 3-0 win.
Yeah.
So I think Notre Dame will win this though.
Yeah. And then yeah, I still think it's gonna be Penn State and Notre Dame. I think it's looking good for whoever comes out of the Oregon side of the bracket to have a favorable matchup in the championship because all three of your top three favorites, are all sitting on that side of the bracket with Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon. They have to be the best betting odds left in the brackets because of Georgia's situation. Obviously, Georgia is still Georgia. They're still going to be a good defensive team, and they're not going to make it easy for anybody to beat them. Still a lot of respect for Kirby Smart's team and how good they are. Don't like them, but I respect them.
Yeah,
And I don't know. It's interesting. I still think right now, um, my prediction is still a Oregon and Notre Dame final championship, national championship right now. That's my prediction. And I would have Oregon winning that. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out.
I could see that. I could see that honestly. I don't know. I have a feeling. I had a feeling again for the Tennessee or to play Oregon. Obviously, that just I was totally wrong in everything that I said.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it was and my bracket that I put together is after the information you have told me is not looking too good because I had Tennessee and Georgia playing in the Natty, and Tennessee's gone. Georgia will probably be gone, so it's not looking good for the boy over here.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Georgia can string together. Hey, they teams don't have much film to watch right now. Well, Notre Dame doesn't have much film to watch on Georgia's now starting quarterback. So maybe they have the element of surprise, and maybe he comes out and just punches them in the mouth. But well, that's pretty much it. Big news for college football. There's some bowl games, some other bowl games going on, but um,
I think the best bowl game today was Navy beat Oklahoma.
yeah, Navy beat Oklahoma, and go Navy.
Go,
Go Navy.
go Navy. That's
And
all I'm gonna.
Vanderbilt smacked. They put a beat down on Georgia Tech. Last I saw, it was in a delay, a weather delay, I think. But
Yeah,
they were up 35-13 when it went to delay.
yeah. They
Oh, it ended up getting close. It
yeah, it
seems.
did.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, there's some there, but there's some interesting bowl games though. Like obviously we don't have to talk about them, but there's some interesting names. Have you seen all the names for the bowls?
oh no,
Uh,
I haven't done
well,
too
okay,
much
just a
looking.
quick example, and then we can move on. So Iowa State and Miami are playing in bowl game against each other in Orlando, Florida. Probably gonna be a home game for Miami. It is called the Pop Tarts Bowl. Then you got the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Hey, pay me enough money to sponsor the bowl game, and you can name it whatever you want.
Then you got Tony the Tiger's Sun Bowl.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
it's part of what makes it fun.
yeah,
It's bowl season there.
it's
It's more of a
great.
vacation at that point. The teams get to have fun. They make a whole trip out of it.
Yeah.
I love bowl season.
Real quick on college football. Did you see where what Deion Sanders in Colorado did? They
Oh
got like
yeah,
they got like this jet that's like customized with like Colorado all over it and everything like that, and they're all going out. They said they were making like a week of it and making like a whole big trip for it, and everybody gets to bring one person, and that's pretty
yeah,
cool. That's pretty cool.
yeah. No, it's making a bowl is a big accomplishment, no matter who you are. So
Yeah.
winning is not easy at
No,
that level. So
no.
well, I know you're eager to get to the NFL and talk about your Bears. Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened. My screen went away. Did my screen go dark? Like
No,
my
no.
PC?
It just lit up. It went.
Yeah,
Your face went white.
yeah. I don't know what happened. My screen like switched to a different tab, like to my email
Oh.
tab out of nowhere, and I thought that the app closed down on me. It's like, cool. But your Bears. Let's just get to that.
You know, I'm gonna start it off this way. Okay. You know how quarterbacks they get everybody like their offensive lineman a Christmas present or whatever. Like Joe Burrow got his offensive lineman swords, or golf carts or something along the lines of that. Like Brock Purdy got his offensive lineman cars. Okay. Uh, Caleb Williams decided that he was going to get his offensive lineman an appointment with his nail tech to get their nails done. One of the offensive linemen said that this has been anonymously, so we don't know who said it, said that this was the worst decision that Caleb Williams has made, and I've seen him roll out, throw across his body into uh what was it, triple coverage, or covered by four guys or something like that. And that just sums up how like I am really starting to just like strongly dislike Caleb Williams. Like it's just like one of those things, man. Like why? What, like Dylan? What would you do? What would you do if I said, Dylan, I got you a Christmas present. You're going to go get your nails done. You'd probably you would probably rear back and punch me square in the nose.
Would they look pretty?
And his don't. He writes on them, and it doesn't work. I mean, last night, Thursday night football. That was probably the most atrocious game I've ever watched in my life. Final score was 6-3. Everybody I've seen, Barstool Chicago has been saying like, I wait, like I'm sorry for everybody in America that tuned into that game and watched it for 3 hours and wasted 3 hours of their life. Like that's how bad it was. Like it just, I don't know. I don't know. The Bears are we were 4-2 going into their bye week. They've lost 10 straight.
Yeah. I mean, It's
Caleb Williams
it's
is.
it's they
Go
just
ahead.
need to, the season's over at this point for them. They just need to keep seeing ideally growth from Caleb. Um, and your young guys losing is it's hard, but it's the best thing that could happen to them right now. Titans are in the same boat. And in the offseason, they just got to hit the nail on the head with the head coaching hire.
Well,
And you got to know that help is hopefully coming with draft picks and free agent acquisitions. And
well,
I hope,
it's already been said that the Bears are reaching out to offensive coordinator for the Lions, Ben Johnson,
yeah,
and are going to get an interview with him. Pete Carroll has also said that he has interest in the job.
Mike
So
Vrabel,
yeah, there's a lot of coaches that are showing interest for this job because talent is not a problem for the Bears. It is not. Like we have Keenan Allen, who has been really coming on strong the last couple weeks. You have DJ Moore, who's been really good for us. DeAndre Swift. We got the receivers. We got the running back. We got Cole Kmet at tight end. We have the quarterback, which I hate to say, but it's like Tony Gonzalez said it last night. At this point in the year, you're not making the playoffs. You're not. There's nothing you're playing for, right? So why not go out there and play and have fun with it and just go and play football, right? But and I'm going to defend Caleb Williams a little bit here. At some point you have got a coach, like you got to give him something to work with. You can't be like calling all these deep plays and he doesn't have time in the pocket to throw. Obviously he had some time last night and he was running around trying to make plays, but like you got to give him something, right?
yeah,
Now on the other side, you're about to finish your rookie year. At some point, you go over on the sideline, you look at the tablet, you see like, okay, if they run this coverage again, I know what to do here. At what point does that stick with you and you're like, okay, I have to be better. I can't be making these like he had Roma Dunze wide open last night. Completely threw it over his head. But then was pointing fingers trying to blame Rome for like trying to like, hey, run your route, run your route. Like, and I wanted to look if I was Rome, I'd look at Caleb and be like, if I ran the route, the ball was still 10 feet over my head. It's like he's not being accurate. He's not making smart decisions. Like he's also been sacked 67 times.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
yeah,
Again, I know you mentioned off stream to me. The Bears, I mean, obviously it's just projections, it's obviously not set in stone. Guy may not even be there, but someone that I think the Bears should be hoping for is a Texas offensive tackle, um, Kelvin Banks, I believe is his name, Kelvin
yeah.
Banks
I'm
Jr.
pretty sure. All I know is his last name's Banks.
Yeah, um, that'd be a huge addition to the O line, help solidify. I think O line has to be the pick, whether it's Banks or Will Campbell. Obviously, um, Will Campbell could be gone by time. So Banks could be the more likely pick, anyways. But Bears need a few teams in front of them to win. Jaguars and Titans play, so that's big for the Bears. Possibly whoever wins that, and that's gonna just kind of get me into that topic. The
And
Titans. Oh, you go. Okay, go.
one more thing. Because I was looking to see where the draft projection was that I saw. This popped up on my phone. I don't know if you can tell. Right? It's a picture of Caleb Williams. The Bears haven't won a game since October. We're in December,
Yeah.
and it's just it's annoying, man. It's annoying.
Well, okay. Well, um, the Titans play the Jaguars this week. Both teams with 3 wins on the season. Um, I can't stress to you enough, Tyler, how important it is for the Titans to lose this football game. Um, if they win, they would go. Right now, they have the fourth pick in the draft. if they win, they would move up, or they would drop from the fourth pick all the way to like the ninth pick, eighth or ninth pick. Yeah, um, which is not that's no bueno for
Yeah,
what
well,
this
we
Titans
need
team
the
looks
Titans
like.
to lose then, so the Bears can stay where they are.
Well,
So if
that's the
the Bears
thing.
end
The
up losing,
Jags, okay, well, if the Titans lost, the Bears that wouldn't move the Bears down. The Titans are already in front of the Bears, so a win wouldn't affect the Bears pick. You
I
know,
was
because we're already in
I was
front of.
saying, I was saying if y'all won, then never mind.
Then your
But,
pick would possibly get better if the Titans win.
but the yeah, okay.
But if the Jags win, Titans would move up to the third pick. So this is essentially a game for the third overall pick. Um, and you know, I'm still torn on what I want. They need a lot of help. I don't think, no matter what they do in the draft, I don't think they're going to be a good team next year. Um, they just have too many holes. But if you like one of those quarterbacks, you're going to need one of those top picks. Um, and you're not going to get a quarterback if you drop all the way to the eighth or ninth pick versus having the third overall pick. Like you have a pretty good chance. Obviously, two quarterbacks could go picks one and two, and Titans don't get a chance anyways. But your chances of getting one are a lot better at pick three than pick eight or
Well,
nine. If they even want one of the quarterbacks, they may not like either of them, and that's okay. But
mock draft I saw had Cam Ward going first to the Giants, and then Shadur wasn't going until like the eighth pick to the Raiders.
yeah, well, and that's the thing. I think if Shadur's there, I think I would want Shadur's the only quarterback in the class that I would want the Titans to take. Um, But if they don't, I don't want them to take him if they don't absolutely love him. Like he has to be their guy.
So
Problem is, I think the Titans could get desperate, knowing like the coach Brian Callahan and Rand Carthen, the GM. They may get desperate and understand that their jobs could rely on who's the starting quarterback next year, and they may be fearful of rolling out there with Will Levis or Mason Rudolph again, because they know like, okay, well, if we have another year next year like we did this year, they'd both probably get fired.
they won't make it through the season if they have another year like this year.
Yeah, so they may get desperate and just try and you got to make a change. I don't know if it'll be in the first round or not, but it's not going to be easy to lose against the Jags. So,
So
uh,
okay, so let me ask you this, okay? So do the Titans go in, let's say, draft? Do they go and draft Shadur in your if, or would you go and sign a free agent quarterback and then
right now,
still save that draft pick for something else you need?
I think we're going to have a different quarterback starting next year, no matter what. It really depends on what free agent quarterbacks are available because the Vikings are going to have to make a decision if they want to bring Sam Darnold back.
Y'all could go get Kirk Cousins.
Um, you got Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers will probably be an option. Um,
Yeah, let's go ahead and start dusting off the fossils to bring to
yeah,
Nashville real quick.
that's the thing. You have to that's what they're going to have to take into consideration. Do you roll the dice on an older veteran quarterback, or do you go with a first round pick, a quarterback? Thing is, I don't think all signing an Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins is going to do for you is win you too many games next year to where you won't be able to draft a top quarterback in the following year. Like what? Because Aaron Rodgers isn't going to make the Titans a Super Bowl team next year. Kirk Cousins won't make the Titans a Super Bowl team next year. All they're going to do is win you a couple extra games, and then you're going to be sitting there next year with like the 10th overall pick, with no quarterback, and then you're going to have to sit through a whole other year the following year being back. You know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like if you like Shedeur, draft him. If you like Cam Ward, draft him. I don't think they should trade up. Don't give up multiple first round picks to trade up. I don't think any quarterback is really ever worth that because you don't know you're going in blindly. Honestly, you don't know what you're getting until they're there. Not every first round or number one overall pick is not the best player in the draft. Like you truly don't know until they're on the team how good they're going to be. So you're blindly trading away your future assets for a guy that may not even work out or be on your team in 4 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's smart for any team to ever trade up for a quarterback. If you're picking up there, obviously you're picking up there probably because you don't have a good quarterback. Take it, but it is pointless. I mean, we saw how it bit the Panthers in a bad way. They traded multiple first round picks to move up for Bryce Young and pass on CJ Stroud. Like they traded up for Bryce Young, and then we saw what CJ Stroud did last year. And you're like, the Texans didn't have to trade up for CJ Stroud. They just they just picked him. And the
Yeah.
Panthers traded multiple first round picks to go get Bryce Young, and he's playing better this year. But it set their team back. Is I guess what I'm saying. Like if you have a chance to get your guy, get him. Um, I understand it. If you feel like that's your guy, you're gonna get desperate to make sure you get him. I get it, but I don't think it's a smart move. Um, you know, I don't know. I guess the point is, I hope the Titans don't trade up and get someone. But if Shadir's sitting there at 4 or wherever the Titans are picking, and they want him, hey, you go take him. But please, if you have the third pick, don't trade two firsts to go up and get the second pick to secure one of those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. But yeah, that's my spiel on the Titans. But yeah, it's they need to lose, but they play the Jaguars, who are also really bad and could afford to lose. And this isn't just, I mean, I said, the winner of this game is gonna drop like 5 picks, which is crucial. You're Even if you don't get one of those quarterbacks, you could be losing your way into a Travis Hunter if you want Travis Hunter, or like you if you have the third or fourth pick, you can get the best player at a certain position with that pick.
Yeah, that'll help you.
Like whether it's edge, wide receiver, Travis Hunter, or a quarterback, like that third pick.
Rusher, receiver. Let's just put Travis Hunter in his own little category. Is basically what
Yeah,
he did.
I mean, you have so much more flexibility for especially for a bad football team like the Titans. They need that flexibility of like
Yeah.
you can get a very good prospect with the third pick, and if you
True.
stack a few of those together, you can start to have a better football team. So they need to lose. It's in the Titans' best interest. Obviously, they're never going to go out there and try and lose, but they don't really have to try very hard. They do it to themselves. But they need to lose, I guess. And it's gonna be hard to lose against the Jaguars because
I'm
they
gonna be
suck
honest
too.
with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not gonna watch that game on Sunday.
I am. I'm
I
gonna
am
watch.
not watching that because the Jags and the Titans are both in the same boat where they both need to lose.
Yeah,
So
that
they are.
exactly. And the last time they played each other, the final score was 10-7, I think, or something like that. So, or was it? I think it may have been like 12-10. It was something. It was very low scoring.
Yeah, very,
But
very low scoring. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it, you know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that can be shaken up this weekend
yeah,
in the NFL, and just coming down to pretty much all those crap teams that are needing those draft picks is what I'm talking about. So
yep. And we're just gonna start to see the playoff picture shape a little bit more over the last few weeks, like seeding wise and everything. And then we'll get to make some playoff predictions for the NFL.
yeah,
Um,
that's gonna be fun. It'll
well,
be fun to do that for sure.
brother, I don't think I have anything else. I don't know if you do or not, but
So I got one final thought. Okay,
okay. Final thought.
so I was scrolling and I saw this. Okay, Yahoo Sports. Awful night for Chicago sports teams. The Bulls gave up a 50-point fourth quarter in a loss to the Hawks. I think that's like a historic amount of points in the fourth quarter. And then the Bears lose 10th straight game after failing to score a touchdown. So bring on the Cubs. That's all I'm gonna say. Is you
We got the
know,
Blackhawks right now. Hopefully
and
they're
they're
doing
and they're still in the toilet too. So and the White Sox aren't much better. So come on, Cubs, let's go, please. We need a big year for Chicago sports. That'd be amazing. So, but
well.
if you're good, I'm good, buddy.
I'm good.
You know, it was great doing this, Dylan. But I always enjoy our time together.
Yes, sir.
And it's always fun. It gives us another reason to talk to each other, being hours apart. So, and I love it. I love doing every show with you.
Yes, sir. It's always a
Um,
blast.
yes, sir. Thank you guys for watching the TJD Sports Podcast. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And then, Dylan, what else they got to do since JP's still wandering around Europe?
If you wouldn't mind hitting that notification bell so you never miss another moment on the TJD Sports Podcast.
Exactly. You hit that really good, Dylan. That was
Thank you.
awesome.
That was
Uh,
groovy.
but we will be back on. We'll
Possibly
say TB.
Tuesday.
We'll say TBD. We'll say
Yeah.
TBD. And hey, that just gives you another reason to hit the bell. You'll never miss. You'll never miss.
Yeah, you'll never
But
miss another moment.
it's TBD on Tuesday. If not, we'll be back on Friday for sure. Bring in the new year. But thank you guys for watching and listening, and we will be back next time. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, brother. Well, I gotta go.